Hello everyone and welcome back. My name's Randy. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you know what to do. Give the video a big thumbs up and let's get straight into it. I want to talk about SNDL, and we've put this on the back burner. We've been waiting to buy or cost average down. At least that's what I've done. I've been waiting for this reverse stock split to go through, and I'm absolutely shocked that there isn't more volatility and downward pressure in this price. It's really been very, very stable. For those of you that have watched or witnessed multiple reverse stock splits, you know this is nothing. This barely moved about 5%. We're going to take a look at the charts. We're going to take a look at the price that was locked in today. What will it be tomorrow? Because they're going to lock the price in. They're going to do a 10-to-1 on the price at business close today. And then we're going to take a look and make some assumptions as to how much this might drop tomorrow. But then we've got the FOMC meeting coming up, and we've got the GDP numbers coming out on Friday. So we're going to be talking about the concept of dollar cost averaging into a position. And I want to make sure that you are a very disciplined trader or investor. I don't care how you make money, but I want to help you in this channel to get in as low as possible. So let's not delay any further. Let's get straight into it. Sundial announces results of its annual and special meeting of shareholders and details of the share consolidation. And there's only a few things that I want to look at. It's just the percentages of what passed. And, you know, I'm just curious. I haven't done a lot of research on the directors, but I'm very curious. This new team that they're putting together, especially if you're going to be holding this long term, you want to get to know everybody in this new team. And I'm starting to put all these pieces together, but I'm just curious why Brian had the lowest percentage. If you know anything about Brian, let me know in the comments below. He had an 87.94, but for those of you that are on the fence on how you feel about how Zach handled this whole situation, Zach has got an 88.11, and then we got Greg. I don't know who he paid off or who he's baking apple pies for, but he's got an 89.15. I think that's really interesting just to see. It's kind of a popularity contest there. But I guess the auditors are very popular, 91% there. But the common shares here, we've got 89.25 for the change of the name. And then right here, the message was clear to the leadership team. And I believe that they had a choice, right? 1 to 25 or 1 to 10. And on the low side, 1 to 10, I expressed in my consolidation video that I believe that this would be a good signal to investors that the leadership and management team had a higher level of confidence in the numbers for Alcana and sticking to that price stability and not having to revisit that threshold of $1 compliance and NASDAQ compliance. If they went with the 1 to 10, they would have more confidence in their numbers. If they went 1 to 25, that they would have a lower level of confidence in their numbers. So I think we clearly sent a message. We may have had an impact for those of you that did vote against the share consolidation. You may have had an impact. And I believe the leadership team did notice on these percentages what we had to say. For those of us that were not in favor, this was not good. Nobody wanted to see the reverse stock split. But I will tell you, the price has held well. We've got 87.33 for the respect of the arrangement. And then there's not too much else in here as far as details. Now, the next thing that I want to do, and there's one last note that I highlighted here about David. And, you know, there's going to be some changes when you combine organizations together. There's going to be some people that are going to want to leave to take better opportunities. But I was not able to attend the call, and I did take a screenshot of some notes. So please let me know if any of this is true in the comments below. Reverse stock split, we know that's happening tomorrow morning. We're going to go through the price, exactly what that's going to be. Alcana has given SNDL the opportunity to get closer to free cash flow, and that it looks like they're going to be closer to doing this, but it doesn't mean that when they report their numbers on this next quarter that they will be cash flow positive. I believe they're going to be working towards this towards the end of the year, and they're going to be closer than anyone in the US or Canadian market as far as their sector is concerned. As far as their balance sheet, they're probably better set up financially than any of their peers in the market, and I just think this helps with liquidity and investing for them to reach this milestone of being over $1 and hopefully having some stability in their price in the future. Now, the buybacks are done for now, as far as I understand, and there's a blackout period that's happening now. And that's why I want to talk about dollar cost averaging into a position, because if the last time they had a blackout period, it got real quiet and the price pulled way back. I think you want to wait and just be extremely greedy with your money. So think of your money as having, 4 portions or 4 buckets. Take the first bucket, and the first catalyst would be right before the FOMC meeting. That's typically a good time to take advantage of the market pulling back. Then Friday, look for another opportunity. And then just getting closer to the earnings, look for another opportunity, but don't be in a rush to cost average down. Now, there is still a plan to buy more Canadian companies, and as the cannabis sector bottoms out, to take advantage of more opportunities. And we know that they're doing that with Project Jupiter, code name Project Jupiter, or the Zenabis acquisition, which I believe they will acquire that company. They've got the dividend. That is a topic, but in the statements that I read in the proxy, this isn't something that's going to happen until 24 months or 12 to 24 months. It's going to be the later end of the cycle. In Sunstream, nothing's going to happen with Sunstream until the market rebounds. So those are pretty much some of the notes that I got from the meeting. Now, these notes haven't been verified. I wasn't able to attend the meeting, but let me know in the comments below if there was anything else to add. Now let's take a look at the charts right here where the market closed. I put in a red line, and this is in the 1-minute chart. You can see after that announcement happened, this came down, and it didn't come down much. Like I was saying before, I was very, very surprised. Typically, this comes down anywhere between 20%, 10%, but nothing like I seen here. I mean, it's really holding up support well. Now, right here at 0.2974, you can see I've got that marked right here, 2974. You just multiply that times 10 and you get right under $3. That's what we're going to be opening at tomorrow. Now, this did, after hours, try and pull down to 28 cents, and then it started to come tick back up. Now, we're going to have to wait and see what happens tomorrow, but this should open right at about, depending on how many shares you have, you could divide them by 10, and then each share price is going to be right under $3. Now, typically once the market opens, you're going to see a pullback in this price, but that's going to really depend on overall market conditions. And remember, the last time that we had a blackout, that the price just slowly dripped down until we got to the earnings, and then there was that massive takeoff. So you're going to have to watch those macroeconomic indicators, and I'm going to be watching them with you. Now, dollar cost averaging, like I said, I was going to talk about this previously. Be sure not to use all of your allocated spend at one price point. If you've never done that before, then just take it and divide it, like I was saying before, into 4 different portions and spread that out. And maybe you use it, maybe you don't, and try to be disciplined. That's the best way to get the lowest cost price leading up to the earnings. And we're looking for that earnings to be released. When the earnings date does get released, that could provide a small pop, but pay attention to your technicals, because SNDL has really been respecting its technicals as far as when it drops below this 30 on the RSI. When it comes down here, it normally comes back up to test this 70 on the RSI, and it moves in between those sections. As far as volatility, watch your EMAs also. These moving averages, you could say they've all been under this 20-day EMA. And of course, this is the 1-minute chart. And if you're looking at the 1-minute chart, of course, that's for day trading. If you're looking at something a little bit more long-term, you're going to want to move this into your 4-hour chart. And you can see that this busted down here below, down into 29 cents, which is pretty low for SNDL, but we were expecting that. We were expecting something a little bit more. Now, if we take a look at this last high point that we had here and how much this has dropped, right here, we've had about a 20% drop. So since its highs to the point now, that is about what we expected, that 20 to 40% drop. That's exactly what's happened. So what's the reward for doing this properly? You have dollar cost averaged into your position. You've got the lowest cost average possible because you were patient, disciplined, and you waited until post-reverse stock split. You're taking advantage of this price action at its lowest points, 29 cents or below. Now, previously I explained that 29 cents could possibly be the low point for the stock. So does it go much lower than that? I would not hesitate, and I would pay attention to the low end of that analyst price target of 48 cents and $4.80. I would say once we recognize those Alcana acquisition numbers, which are not factored into this, I don't believe they're factored into these analyst price targets. I believe that that is the low end of what you'll recognize. So we could see this price go anywhere from $4.80 to $8 once it decides to rebound. Now, this could go on the same path of many of the reverse stock splits prior to this, but this is why I don't believe that Sundial will be the same, and it's because of what just happened today, which made me, again, very bullish long-term on this stock, and I've spent so much time talking about it. It barely came down today. That's all I got. Feel free to agree or disagree in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.